Hello, everybody. I'm Lynn Blackwell, your energy coach. And today, my special guest is Jodie Solberg, and she's a wellness and success coach. And stay tuned and learn about wellness, success, and listen to Jodie tell us about what's going on. Thanks. Hello, everybody. Lynn Blackwell, your energy coach, and today I have a special guest star, Jodie Solberg, who, congratulations on your new book. You collaborated with Les Brown, The Greatness in You.
Mhm.
And so why don't you tell us who you are and what you do?
Absolutely. Thank you so much, Lynn. So, hello, everyone. My name is Jodie Solberg, and I'm a mental wellness coach and a licensed and certified master hypnotherapist. And I have been working with people with their mental health and wellness, as well as in coaching, actually, both alongside each other for over 20 years now. And what I do is I help people to break through those blocks, those mental blocks that get in our way, those things that creep up and just keep bugging us. And I call them the weeds, right? Those things that just keep popping up and we try to mow them down and they keep popping up again. And if we just keep trying to mow them down over and over again, they never really go away. We just keep having to deal with them over and over again. So those things like negative self-talk or limiting beliefs, past traumas and hurts, things that just kind of are there under the surface. And what I found is through being able to tap into the power of our subconscious minds, we can get to the root of whatever that is and help to heal that, pull that out, and you won't have to deal with it anymore. And so that's what I do. And yes, I was very fortunate to be able to be a co-author with the Les Brown, along with some incredible co-authors, and this brand new book, The Greatness in You. And so we talk all about how to tap into your own personal greatness. And I talk about growing into your voice. And so a lot of that is about growth. It's about energy. It's about being able to really accept and embrace who you are so then you can share your own voice with the world.
Well, I tell you that that's a really great book, and they're nice, short little chapters. So I encourage everyone to get it. And why don't you tell the viewers like three top things that they could do with their voice energetically and how they could step into, because that's a major expression that, well, you mentioned that you were kind of frightened and, of speaking out and speaking in front of groups and.
Oh my goodness. Yes. That doesn't really quite hit the nail on the head. Um, my growth journey in that area has definitely been profound. When I was becoming a baby therapist, right, I was in training. I was always good one-to-one. I loved people, right? I loved helping people. I'm an intuitive empath, but I'm also introverted. And I was extremely shy and quiet and reserved. And speaking in front of people and speaking in front of a camera specifically was really, really challenging for me. We're talking shaking, tears, the whole nine. And so I just had to really grow and stretch. And that's what I recommend for people is don't feel like you have to jump into the deep end. It's okay to just stretch your comfort zone, to expand, right? Expanding out is something that I did. I started smaller. I started with the one-to-one and, couples and families and small groups. And then it got bigger when I was training in the larger groups. I ran children's and teens programs and parenting training programs and things of that nature. So it was a little bit bigger groups. And then it was speaking in front of, a dozen people. And it was little things. It was like, say your name and what, your focus is, and then sit down, right? Things like networking were really helpful for that. Quick little 30 seconds to 1 minute. So just expand when you're using your voice. Another tip would be to get to know yourself, really get to know who you are and what you're passionate about. Figure out what that purpose is. That's one of the things that I work with clients on is, what is their passion? What is their purpose? And how do they want to get that out into the world? For me, it was for a really long time working more individually in small groups, things of that nature. And then I decided that I was ready. I was invited, actually was found on social media and invited to speak in a global speaking tour. And Les Brown happened to be one of the headliners.
Oh,
So that's
great.
actually how this all came about. And so put it out there. You will put out the right energy and attract the right types of opportunities when you are really solid in your core and you know who you are and what you're looking for. And you really have that clear voice of, okay, this is my cause, or this is what I believe in. And when you start speaking to that, right, when you put out that right energy and you put out the energy that you're open, I always say, go like this, right? Open yourself energetically to those opportunities, then you're not blocking them constantly. So I feel
Right.
like so many times we block ourselves and we block those opportunities. And so I decided when the pandemic hit, actually, that I was going to say yes to things that sounded fun, even if it was a little scary, even if it was something I hadn't done before. If there was a part of me that said, hey, that sounds fun, then I decided I was going to be open to that. And that's how I got here with being a co-author with Les Brown. Was I said yes to that speaking tour that he happened to be one of the headliners in. And then I was from there invited to be a part of my first book. And you can actually see back here, I have some of my books back there now. I'm a 5-time best-selling author, which blows my mind
Great.
still.
And we'll put all the links to your books and everything
Yes,
so
yes.
that the viewers
My
can.
website, yes, my website, psychedupsuccess.com, actually has all of my books on there. And so, yeah, absolutely, you can go check those out. But it's just so incredible because each one was a growth journey, right? It was a part of that, of speaking and becoming an author.
And I
And
know a lot of people, like, their blockages is that they aren't allowing and receiving.
truth.
And they don't realize it. They think they have to go out and do something, but sometimes it's just allowing and
Mhm.
receiving the opportunities to come to you.
Exactly. Yeah. So not like this, not grabbing, right?
Right.
It's being open. Yeah,
Right.
absolutely. Just being open to that and
Yeah.
things will start flowing your way. Cause yeah, we
And
definitely
another
do
thing is, like, a
positive.
lot of people, yeah, take action, but it's not
Yeah.
inspired action. It's like busy work. And I say, well, don't take action when you're allowing and receiving. The
Mhm.
next step will light up, it'll be very clear, and then you take the inspired action. And so you're not frazzled. But I would love to hear about, because mental health is huge. And can you talk to us about how you work with people with their mental wellness, and also how that works with your hypnotherapy?
Yeah, absolutely. So I became a hypnotherapist back when I was in grad school for clinical psychology. And so I studied things like cognitive behavioral techniques, hypnotherapy as a modality. I studied positive psychology, positive parenting, things of that nature, because I did start out, like I said, with families and children and adults in crisis and trauma and addiction. And throughout the years, that was something that was really important to me, because what I found is that everyone has things that they go through, right?
Yeah.
Everyone has these things that, again, can stay with us for a really long time. And so it was
Traumatized.
really
It's trauma. We all go through trauma, and it sticks
everyone.
around way too
It
long.
does. It does, absolutely. And so, so what I found with hypnotherapy is that I could help people get results a lot faster by helping them be able to access that subconscious part of what's going on. Usually your subconscious mind isn't out to get you; it's actually trying to protect you, even though it feels like it's blocking you from reaching your goals. There's a part of you that is hurt and
It's
doesn't want to feel
communicating to you what you should be
this.
focusing on, and to take
Absolutely.
that a little bit deeper. But like you said, when we just cut the grass and it just grows
Mhm.
right back, so you kind of work more with the root.
Exactly. So getting to that root so that we're not talking in circles around the same thing for, 6 months or 6 years. We're able to really just visit the past enough to figure out where those roots are and what needs to be healed so you can move forward. So not necessarily we have to live there. But it's important to be aware of what those roots are, so you know what to deal with, like you said, where to heal, so we can help you move forward. And so that's really my approach. And so, like I said, I actually have also been a coach. I started my coaching practice, consulting and coaching with women in business, actually, when I was in grad school to pay off all those six figures in student loans.
Oh,
And I did that, but I kept going and actually kept my worlds really separate for many, many years, and had the fun working with women with coaching. And then I had a really heavy, stressful, but very important and impactful career working with a lot of court appointed clients.
yeah. And it was in your book, you were saying they actually were looking to you to give them advice on how they should, judge something in the courts. When I read that, I thought, well, that's a lot of
That's
responsibility.
a lot. Yeah, it's heavy, right? It was really heavy work. And what I found was, of course, all the women I was working with in business were still dealing with all the mental health and wellness challenges. They were dealing with stress, anxiety, trauma, all of these things that, of
And
course, my
everyone's
therapy
trying to
clients were
walk
dealing with.
around, keeping it together, not making, hoping
Yeah.
nobody finds out what's really
Mhm.
going on behind the curtain.
Exactly. And our personal lives affect our professional lives and vice versa. And you
Yes.
can't really keep them separate. It's going to keep coming up, like we talked about the weeds over and over again. And so I would look at these women and I would say, well, I'm not going to help with that. I'm not your therapist right now. And so it's just not my job. And so it was something when I decided to start Psyched Up Success, which is the name of my private practice, I decided that I wanted to be able to take my favorites from both worlds of being able to help people through and I worked with a lot of busy professionals in general now, help people through those challenges as holistically as I could with all areas, because we're all people, right? All
Different
areas of their
tools. You have like a toolkit. And
life.
was it very scary for you to go from your, salary paid job to, your own business? How was that journey?
Since I started my business in grad school and I'd had that the whole time and it was doing really well, it really wasn't. I also come from, my husband's very entrepreneurial, have an entrepreneurial family, and I had worked independently a lot as well. It wasn't necessarily always like a salary type of a job. So I actually was very comfortable in that. And I've been helping other people in their businesses for many years. So I was comfortable with that part. For me, it was just the lifestyle shift was really important because I was really burnt out. And so it was really important for me with trying to do all of those things, which was great, but didn't leave a lot of room for rest and recovery, for me to build my lifestyle and my practice around that. So now I work virtually with people all over the world, which is
Yeah.
wonderful.
And you mentioned in the book about self-care and how it's really important to
Important.
prioritize. Can you just talk a minute about that? Because I find that's the deal breaker. If we're
Yeah,
not taking care of ourselves, everything else is just not going to be very good.
absolutely. Yeah. If you're not managing your self-care and you're not managing your energy, how can you give your best to anyone else? Right. And
Right.
being in a helping profession, it's extremely important for me to be able to make sure, and for all of us, because we play so many different roles in our lives, but it's really important for me to build in breaks all throughout my day instead of
Right.
trying to rush from one thing to another to another. Because think about if I'm working with a client and there's some heavy emotional things that are going on and coming up in those sessions, I need time to clear my energy and to rest and
Right.
recharge and be fresh and ready for the next person. And so I need that for them, but I need that for me as well, because if you don't do that, then that's definitely a recipe for burnout very
And
quickly.
I find, a lot of people don't understand self-care isn't just, going to get our hair done and our nails done or the massage or the yoga. I call it the elephant in the room, and you call it the weeds that keep growing.
Yeah.
Well, you've got this elephant in the room, and that is really screaming out for attention. And it's popping its ugly head in all areas of your life. And really part of radical self-care is getting a coach, getting hypnotized about your past and releasing these. And that I think nowadays in 2022, really, we all need to have a support team like you, because it's just part of it. It's the world changed, and it's not enough to take care of ourselves on the outside. We really have got to release all these energies that are kind of stuck and creating blockages. So yeah, this is,
Absolutely.
yeah. So how can the viewers, if they're interested in a hypnotherapy session or a success session, how can they contact you, and what does that look like?
Okay, so they can go to my website directly at psychedupsuccess.com, and I know we'll have that link for them as well. They can also find me on Instagram or Facebook under Psyched Up Success, and they can check out those social channels if they'd like to. But on my website, there is actually a link. They click on Work with Jodie for a free 30-minute explore call, is what I like to call those, so that they can explore their options for support, and we can discuss like, what does that look like? There's also a, sessions and hypnotherapy section on there that's going to go through exactly what to expect. What does that look like? It's not like what you see on TV. It's not scary. It's not anything where you're going to be out of control. It's not like stage anything like that you've seen. It really is just calming down that part of yourself that likes to have that come back and those blocks and is hypervigilant, hypercritical. It's just calming and relaxation and getting yourself into a state of consciousness where we can access that subconscious. We can find out, where are those roots without ruffling all the feathers, making sure
very gentle with ease and grace, no drama, no. And you do everything via Zoom, so it doesn't matter where they are in the world.
Absolutely. Yep. Via Zoom. And so we do that introductory call so I can get to know the person and what challenges and issues they're dealing with. And then I can give a recommendation on number of sessions that might take. And we go from there, and they can just try it out. Or if they're interested in more, longer term support, if they're looking for, 6 sessions or 12 sessions, then we can definitely discuss that as well. And so it's really great because I really tailor and customize the different numbers of sessions and what we're working on in sessions to each person and what's emergent for them. Sometimes
you're committed to taking them to a new level energetically. So, and we have these blockages. People say, oh, blockages. It's nothing, that can't be worked through or released and let go. And so I will tell the audience that I have done one of those hypno sessions with someone else, and I highly recommend it. It was very freeing, and you're completely in control at all times. You're not out, you know what's going on. And it's just one of these modalities. I say that everyone needs a team, and it's people like Jodie that you really need on your team if it resonates with you, because it really will just kick it up and shift it into high gear. And I find these blockages and these past traumas and the elephant in the room, or the weeds that we just keep cutting down, they are really interfering with our success, our abundance, achieving our goals. And people often work hard, right? I work hard, I work long, I'm struggling, I'm not meeting my goals. And then the mental stress, from the world. And we can address those and release it. So yeah, that's great. So I'll put all the links to everything, and I highly recommend, a free 30-minute call. That's a gift.
Right. Yeah. It gives you an opportunity to really see if that's a fit, and, ask any questions that you have, but definitely check out the website. It has a ton of information on there. And
why don't you just say it again, but slowly, so that
absolutely. It's psychedupsuccess.com, which is PSYCHEDUPSUCCESS.com.
And we'll put it also up on the screen along with your books, but I just wanted to make sure everybody got that. So, well, it was a pleasure. And I think now that people are realizing that the traditional ways of, struggling through life are not necessary, that by going and getting the coaching, the wellness, dealing with past traumas and releasing them, setting goals, finding out who you really are. And you could, I found when I tried to do it myself, I wasn't very successful. But once I connected with the coaches that I resonated with, I very quickly transformed my life. And I think one side effect, and you could, give the, last word, but I think that everything can and will happen with ease and grace. And that if you're struggling, that just means that there's something going on that can be released.
Oh, I completely agree. Absolutely. I always talk about harmony, ease and flow and harmony. And
Right.
so to me, when people say the word balance, it actually sounds really hard. That sounds like a lot of work, keeping everything perfectly balanced all of the time. And I feel like we are programmed to think we have to work so hard at things all of the time. That does not have to be how it is. You do not have to struggle and deal with those things
No.
over and over and over again. You really can have that ease and flow and harmony in your life. And you're right, having the right support team makes all the difference, because so many people come to me and they've tried everything they can do on their own, or they've tried all the other
Yes.
things.
Yes.
And so it really is about you giving that a chance of
Yes.
just opening, like we both talked about, just
Right.
opening yourself to those options, to those opportunities, and to have that
Yeah.
support.
Well, I'll tell you that it makes the huge difference if you get a team in place, and of course just work with people that resonate with you. But
Mhm.
Jodie's offer for a free 30 minutes, I mean, just do it, because you've got nothing to lose. And even just a free call will shift their energy, because they're seeking
Absolutely.
help, they're acknowledging, oh, maybe this will work. So, well, Jodie, it was a pleasure to have you on the channel, and congratulations on your new book, which we'll put up there. And I encourage everybody to get it. It's just a really the greatness in you with Les Brown. So thank you.
Thank you, Lynn.